Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to today's episode. I just want to begin with something that's not a word. Friends, love is a force, a vibration, a choice. Love is the most powerful energy that exists in the universe. If you've been listening to the podcast this spring, you listened to Thomas Campbell, who's a physicist, older gentleman who's been a physicist for over 30 years. And you heard him say on the podcast that the two things he's most sure about from his work over 3 decades, if not 5 decades, is that God, universe, source is something that is expanding as we speak. And God, universe, source is love. And that what God, universe, source wants is to expand into more and more and more love. And unfortunately today, that is not the case. So I just want us to begin by thinking about what love is. Love is the most powerful frequency, the most powerful energy, I'd say, in the universe. But it's not just that, it's the most powerful force that exists. Love heals what we think is unhealable. Love reaches through the walls that we build by fear, doubt, and separation. Love is the quiet strength that has moved mountains, has ended wars, and that has saved lives through miracles. And right now, more than ever, this world, America, which is really, and I'm going to do a podcast episode on this in the very near future, but in January, I couldn't get a sense of where we were going with this. And if you've listened to this podcast for a while, you know that I say all the time that the angels come in, and when they show me something clearly, sometimes they'll be like, no, right? And I'll see a red X drawn through something. No. And then the angels go in and they'll circle something. They'll highlight it. They'll bring it to my attention, and they go, this is it. This is a piece in the puzzle that we want you to be aware of. This happens when I am looking at things online. This happens when I'm watching movies. This happens all the time, is that the angels go, this is what you need to see. This is what you need to look at. And that has happened enough times over the last 6 months where I know exactly where our future is headed. I know exactly what the bigger minds within this world, the richest minds within this world, the way that they want to take things. And so I'm going to explain that to you, because it's not political. To me, you'll also hear me say, if you listen to this podcast for a long time, I see things in percentages, right? And I can tell you now exactly where people are trying to take our world into the next phase. And you deserve to know. You deserve to understand what that looks like. Because to be honest, folks, I'm having a lot of conversations. And if you think that the Democratic Party hasn't been infiltrated by Republicans, there is so much inward fighting on the Republican side and on the Democratic side, where Democrats are fighting each other so much that they can't get anything done. It's insane. And I'm getting off track a little bit here, but I want you to know that what I bring you is not anything but the facts. I want to be the angel messenger who is showing me what they're showing me, where we're going in the future, what we're seeing. Today's different. I want to talk to you about love, and I want to talk to you about a lack of love that we're seeing. And if you've listened to this podcast before, you know that vibrational frequency is real. You know that the power of love and the power of healing and the power of prayer and miracles is real. And a lot of you have been asking me, like, Julie, my nervous system is so shut down. I get it. My system has been shut down since the second week of January when those fires started, and it hasn't calmed. And I've had a lot of conversations with people around me. Grown men who are in their 40s and 50s who will tell me, Julie, my nervous system is shutting down over all of this. And I completely get it. So if you are a person who's like, Julie, but my nervous system is so fragile, my nervous system is shutting down, I get it. I completely get it. But there are facts that you need to understand. And if you don't understand facts, then you are not part of a democracy. A democracy isn't just run by a government. It's run by a people who are well-versed and well knowledgeable about what is happening within their system and within their government. And the moment at which you choose to not be aware, just simply aware of what is happening to the people, the community within your own country, is the moment that we are no longer a democracy, because you are not choosing based on facts that are presented. We're not listening to journalists. Journalists are out there. Journalists are there to bring you facts. Journalists are good. Journalists are the fourth wheel to checks and balances. And so today you're going to hear me use a little bit of my journalistic background hat. And yes, I have a very detailed journalistic past, very well versed and trained as a journalist. So I'm going to bring you facts. I'm also going to read the energy of what's happening. And I'm going to be very, very honest with you. And I'm not asking you to do anything other than listen. And I'm asking you to open your heart. Because if you want to be part of what I believe is my favorite country in the world, this democracy, and you want to keep this democracy, then you need to be aware. And what I feel is that God, Universe, Source is crying about what is happening. So I'm going to continue on here for a second. Right now, more than ever before, the world needs you to choose love. We talk about the power of prayer, and that power is real. Prayer is not just asking, it's aligning. It's the moment your heart connects with the divine. It's when your love becomes a ripple that touches someone else's life, even if you never see it. And the most profound miracle is this: you have access to that love right now, right here, because it lives within you. When you choose love in your thoughts and your actions and your prayers, you don't just change your life, you change this world. So today's episode is a call to you to remember love, to return to love, to return to the power of prayer and the power that's in you. So let's begin. I want to start by saying one of the things that Spirit circled and highlighted recently is, I go online to post every day a message from the angels. And when I go on Facebook or I go on Instagram, oftentimes it flashes something in front of me that they know how to get a hold of you, right? And make you stay on the app longer. And I have found myself wanting to comment. And I have found myself looking at the comment section. And I have honestly been horrified at myself and just at the world because of how many posts you see with 3, 4, 7,000 comments and just people going after one another and attacking one another. And I'm horrified at myself too, because of how much the apps trick me when I just go online to bring you a loving, positive angel message. And then it's sucking me into things that it knows is triggering me. And it wants me to comment. It wants me to add hate to the conversation. It wants me to add something because it's riling me up inside. Okay? Now, if you love America, if you love democracy, then I want you to be aware that other countries are loving this shit. Fucking loving this shit. You don't think China, Russia, the Middle East is like, fuck yeah, have them eat themselves alive. Why? Why do they want that for us? They don't want us to exist. Does Russia have a democracy? No. Does China have a democracy? No. Does the Middle East have a democracy? No. I don't want to live like that. I don't want to live under that shit. That is what we are talking about, okay? So I'm going to bring through from my journalistic hat of what happened this weekend. If you ever saw the Hunger Games and the part in the Hunger Games where there is a black market and they go in and they raid the black market. This wasn't a black market, but I want you to imagine a market where things are sold in LA, where a lot of Latino and Latina people go and purchase things. ICE went in and raided that, and they raided Home Depots, where a lot of construction workers go in to get supplies and materials. This started on Friday. As we're recording this, it is Sunday. They detained on Friday 49 people. Today, as of right now, they have detained 150 people. That's it. Okay? And yet they have sent the National Guard, 2,000 National Guard troops using Title 10. Okay? 2,000 National Guard troops have been deployed to the LA area, where the militia is now in the streets of LA with guns. They are not going after criminals. They are racially profiling. Anyone who looks Latina, anyone who looks Latino, they are in Home Depot, they are in everywhere, they are stopping them on the streets, they are asking, and this is just journalistic reporting, they are asking them to present their papers. Do you carry around your passport and your birth certificate? I sure don't. I don't carry that around. And they know other people don't either. They have taken women who have just given birth. They have taken their babies and then arrested the mothers immediately after giving birth. And I know I am speaking to a bunch of empathic people who go, oh my God, the way that your hormones are surging, the postpartum, to have your baby ripped from your arms. They are taking 2- and 3-year-olds and putting them in custody and having them represent themselves in court. They are ripping apart families, separating families, ripping parents from their children, ripping children from their parents, ripping people from their homes and their communities that they have been in for 30, 40, 50 plus years. And if you go to me, because a lot of you have sent a lot of hate towards me on Instagram, if you go to me, oh, Julie, because a lot of you have said this, I'm just going to say, a lot of you have told me, good, get rid of them. That is what you've said to me. Get rid of those illegals. These folks are the ones that are day laborers. What this has shown me more than anything is the difference in class here in America that I had never, ever seen before. Day laborers, farm workers, construction workers, hotel workers, people who pick your food, people who come into your home and paint your home, people who watch your children out of your home, people who clean your pool. You want to be doing all of this work because who's going to do it? Who is going to do all of this work? There is so much hate in our country right now. Just pure toxic hate. And if you are a person who goes, Julie, good, I am glad. You have no idea what is coming to our economy because of this. You have no clue. You think your Social Security is okay? You think they're already going after Medicaid. You think your Medicare is okay? Wait until you hear the next episode that I'm going to bring to you. Wait until you see the bigger picture that is not political whatsoever. I'm going to show you exactly where they're going with this. It's not. You're not okay. You're not safe. Did you know, journalistic reporting facts, they have said they are willing to arrest the governor of California. They are willing to arrest the mayor of LA. Heather Cox Richardson, who, if you're not watching, is journalistically reporting this better than almost anybody right now, has said that she fears for her life, and she should. Because if you don't know what happened in the 1960s, anyone who spoke out was taken out. Want to bet me on that? Want to debate me on that? Come at me. I will debate you all day long. They took out everyone who was speaking. Okay, so let's go a little deeper. Do you know the history behind what sparked World War I? Do you know the history behind what sparked World War II? Look at it. They are little minor events. Little teeny tiny minor events. An assassination of one gentleman over in Europe. Boom! World War. So, where is this going energetically? All right, let's look at this. They go in and arrest the governor of California. They're threatening to arrest people who are just abiding by the law. White people who are doing their job, part of the system. We need two parties. I'm not saying that we don't need two parties, but we need to abide by the laws, okay? This government wants escalation. They want Governor Newsom to go in, and they want him to say, then we are not funding the United States of America. Because do you know how much money Governor Newsom gives, how much Californians give to the federal government? I think it's something like 75 billion. They do not get back. They give over. You know, those go to the Republican states. That money that California gives, it gives more than it gets back from the federal government. So much so that they're losing 75 billion every year. This is all chess. And they want the governor to say, okay, boom, then we're not paying our federal taxes. We'll keep that 75 billion and Republican states can suffer. And they're not the only ones. There are a lot of states out there who pay so much more than they are getting back. If you do not see that we are in an invisible civil war at this moment, if you do not see that we are the closest we have ever been to the second civil war in America, you're not paying attention. You are not watching. You are not looking at different news. I listen to Fox News every single day. I watch all of the Republican sites. I listen to all the Democratic sites. They are not sharing the same news at all. If you are not watching both sides of the coin, you are not paying attention to the situation. If you're a person who says, Julie, but my nervous system, okay. I hear you. I want to stay in a high vibration too. Shit, that's all I talk about. I just want to channel angel messages all day. Who's going to do the work? There is a reason that the angels come in portrayed with swords and with shields and as mighty ass protectors. Because this world has so much egoic mind. That is what they've been battling against. And if you are one of those people who just wants to keep in that high vibration and not look at what's really happening, how is what's happening right now, where they said that they were just going to go after criminals, but were instead letting out a bunch of white criminals from the jails, and we're racially profiling all Latino and Latina people are getting stopped, asked for their papers anywhere they go. How is this not like pre-Nazi Germany or the beginning of Nazi Germany? Please tell me. I want to know. And if you go, Julie, seems like you're spewing a lot of hate. I'm pissed. I am pissed. This is not the country I was born into. And if you haven't been listening, fucking wake up. Wake up. You don't want to give me money. You don't want to attend my programs. You don't want to do shit with me. Fine. But it feels like I am not myself when I don't get to speak how I feel. And this has nothing to do with Republican and Democrat. We need a two-party system, if not three. I believe in democracy. I believe in this country. I would die for this country. But this is not the system. And I am going to show you where they are trying to break democracy. That will be another episode. So this is what they want. And this is a tipping point. And this is a pivotal moment at which we as a country see if we will fall into civil war because of what is happening around the country and especially in LA at this moment as we're speaking. Before I move into the next part, and we're going to do some prayer, and I am going to bring people together in prayer, I just want to put a call out to all the people, because there is a wide audience that listens around the world. This is coming for you too. There are far-right movements that are happening around the world. And what I'm going to tell you in the next episode, in the very near future, about what's coming is coming for you too. This is coming for the entire, all democracies around the world. This isn't just America. We are just leading the forefront for you on this. But there is a far-right movement around the world that is coming for you. It's coming for your pocketbook. It is coming for your retirement. It is coming for your Social Security. And I'm going to show you all of that. But I do want to say to those people who are in a different country, if you are not a white Republican person who has yay Trump all over your phone, you're not safe coming into the US at this time. It's just the simple facts. And I'm really sorry to say that. But that is just where we're at because of how much people are looking at phones. TSA agents are looking at phones. Unless you come in with a burner, and I wouldn't say that you're safe. And especially if you're not a person who is Latino, not safe right now. Brown people, not safe right now. I have a person who reached out via email to me, and she is on the call with me right now, and she's in LA. She knows what's happening. She's seeing it happen. I know that people are scared in LA that martial law will be the next step. Martial law is normally enacted when there is a war or a national disaster, but it's a suspension of your civil liberties in an area. And so what's happening in LA is not little. It is not small. It is massive. And if you know history, if you know the history of what has happened within the world, this is a tipping point. I want to say one more thing, and that is to my Catholic friends and Catholics. I got to let you know, I resonate with Catholicism and Buddhism almost more than any other religion, except for the indigenous, a lot of indigenous religions as well. But Catholics, please take a look and read what Pope Leo has spoken out about regarding immigration in the US, because he too is trying to lead people back to love. And I know that there are a lot of Catholics out there who don't agree with me on this, don't agree with the Pope. This is your Pope. I want you to listen to Pope Leo on what he's saying and understand what he's saying. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Hi, Julie. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Tell us what you're kind of seeing in LA and just what you're feeling as a Latina person in our country.
When the news started breaking out, especially Friday, and going into Saturday morning, the first thing I think of are my students. And then my children, obviously. I love my students as much as I love my children. When they are under my care, I see them as mine. As an empath, this is extremely heartbreaking. I'm going to try my best not to cry.
It's okay if you do.
It's maddening. It's upsetting. As teachers, we try our best to instill morals, to teach, and yet we are the ones that see in the very forefront the inequities in certain communities. And I work in a community that is predominantly Latino because I know how it is to be a brown girl and crave to see someone that looks like you, that is successful, that is a role model. That's what started my mission to do, to become a teacher. School's not out yet.
When is school out?
On Tuesday.
Do you think that this was intentional in that timing, that people are still there and they really can't leave?
Yeah, I think so. Graduations are going on. A lot of schools are graduating. You're seeing the celebrations, and then you see this. I know I've been doing a lot of research myself, just trying to hear what's going on, but it's getting to the point where it's in my city. And in my city, there's a lot of major developments that have happened. I'm not sure if this is too much to share, but I live by SoFi Stadium. The Los Angeles Rams is in our house. ICE is in my neighborhood. At marketplaces, at Home Depots, on purpose. And they're in cars that you cannot identify them in. They're snatching people up. And yes, there are people that are trying to stop this. We're all taken aback when we see an ICE vehicle, if it even says ICE.
And you're scared, and your family has been here for 5 generations, you said.
Exactly, because I know history.
Yeah.
This is Operation Wetback.
Yeah.
I'm just seeing this unfold over and over and over again. And I know my city is hurting. My city has been hurting. She's had a rough year. The LA fires were in January.
Yeah.
We came together as a community, helping each other out. This
I heard
affected
Latino
everyone.
people were the first ones there in the Palisades after the fires to help clean.
Yeah. And also in Altadena, which does have a strong middle class, working class that lives up there. But everyone came together. It didn't matter your background.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. And yeah, you saw videos of Latinos, Latinas, workers from all backgrounds donating their money, their time, their labor, because that's what we do. We have strong communal and family values. And at the same time, I can't help but feel this government is trying to break that up.
Yeah.
They're trying to break up what makes us strong. And I've been getting visions of LA as a mom. She's a mom.
The spirit
and
of her.
The spirit of her. And she showed me how many times this has happened to her. And how these systems are in place to purposely.
This happened under, was it Eisenhower as well? Where Eisenhower, it was some other president that went in and wanted to get rid of 1 million undocumented people in the United States. And this government has said that they want to get rid of all undocumented people in the United States. And I don't get where people don't think to themselves, oh, what's that going to do to the economy when we don't have people in every single line of work? You hear from Republicans down south who are on beef farms and cattle ranches and construction industry who voted this in, and they're seeing that their laborers aren't showing up. And what this has done in my eyes is kind of pull back. I didn't realize what a class system and a caste system we really have here in the United States. I'm shocked.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, you could see it within California when you're driving to Central California all the way up to Northern California, the Trump signs. But yet, their workers are immigrants. And I just, coming from LA, it's kind of a hub for us in a sense of like, it's just the accepting of who you are. And oh, there's a Latina, no big deal. Oh, there's an African American, or there's a white person, or we're just really diverse. Yes, the Latino population is really strong in Los Angeles. If anything, I remember the president of Mexico, when the fires happened, they sent aid to us because we have strong ties. We have a huge population that came from Mexico. And it's not just Mexico, there's Central America, South America. But the thing is, to say this is not racial profiling is completely absurd. Extremely absurd, because how are you attacking a city that has the second most largest population of Mexicans and Latinos, besides their home countries?
I'm going to say this, and some people are going to get upset with me, but I just don't care at this point. People need to understand. I don't know if I've said this before on the podcast, but I have a friend who almost had a breakdown the very first time that Trump won. And I saw it clearly in the spring of last year that Trump was going to win regardless, which is why I really didn't talk as much about it, because all of this was going to come to a head one way or another. And I called her in the spring of 2024 and I said, this is what's going to happen. I just want you to prepare your energy system for it right now. I say that because when I was trying to tune in to Trump's energy in October, when Musk entered into the scene, Musk's energy, I couldn't get to it. I couldn't tune in to their frequency. So I prayed about it, because that's not typical. You can typically get into a high profile person's energy and you can feel their agenda. You can tune into different energies about their intentions, but there was nothing. It's just completely blank when you tune into Musk and you tune into Trump. And so I asked Spirit what that was. And I even had one person go, oh, well, then that's evil, or that's blackness around them. And I said, no, it's not that. It's different. And if you remember, we've had people on the podcast who have talked about, I I think it's the 40s, 50s, and 60s where the US government started to invest in having people do remote viewing, where they would have people who had psychic abilities remote view and look at different buildings, people, to get information about what was happening in Russia and different foreign nations. And I really truly believe, and I believe that this is documented, that presidents have worked with psychics and different people, healers, for a long time. And you cannot get to their energy. So my next question was, well, if you can't get to their energy, who can you get to when it comes to the energies around them? You can get to Stephen Miller's energy. And if you don't know who Stephen Miller is, he's a person, a Jewish man who grew up in LA, who there is video footage of since he was in high school. He's about my age, talking about how much he hates Latino and Latina people. And when you tune into his energy, I truly didn't believe in evil before this year. And when I would tune into his energy, the angel said, that is what evil is. Evil is when people really are coming at life 100% from ego. They're not cared about anybody else. They're not coming from love. They are coming from an egoic force. Now, again, if you don't know who Stephen Miller is, he is the person who said that any woman who is RAPED in college campuses, that you should go on TV and berate them and vilify them on TV just in order to get white men their records clean, to create doubt, sow doubt within the public. That is who this person is. I believe that 100% of what is happening right now in LA with immigration around the world is something that is political gaming. What do I mean by that? When I lived right outside of DC, every single, like we had a big community. Everybody would be at each other's houses all the time. And I would listen to what were people talking about because our neighbors worked inside the White House. Our neighbors worked as heads of defense. Our neighbors were big hot shots, big shots in DC. And when we lived there, what was happening at the time was Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky scandal. And I heard everything that people were saying behind the scenes. And what was said was that everybody knew that Hillary and Clinton had a political marriage. They weren't together for love. They had a political arrangement. And they knew that this had happened. They knew that there were lies going on. And there was a political game that happened where the heads that be went to Hillary and said, what would it take to make you stay? What would it take to have you stand by Bill so that we can get through this? And she said, I want to run for president. So Stephen Barrett has a lot of political savvy, a lot of savvy in getting people riled up on the internet, getting you to hate other people, getting you to trigger you and explode and exploit your emotions, to hate your neighbors. So they pulled Stephen Miller onto the team. And what they did was say, Stephen, what would it take for you to be all in on this government? And Stephen said, I want immigration. I want to export as many immigrants, undocumented Latina and Latino people, because that's who they're really going after. We're bringing in all other sorts of people. It is really just this. That's what he wanted. And that is the play. That is what is happening. And when you live your life, let's go back to what we were saying at the beginning. This life is about being love. expanding into love. And this isn't love, this is hate. People want you to hate because the algorithms feed off of it. People want you to hate this podcast. People want you to hate me. People want you to hate one another. People want you to hate, hate, hate because it fuels what brings big corporations money. So they want to create more hate within your heart. And there is two ways to live. You can live to decrease your ego and come more from love. And that is what we are here to do as souls. Or you can live with maximum ego and one droplet of love, because you're always in some way, shape, or form connected to source, which is why we're going to pray in a second for these leaders to have a change of heart, for the angels to just surround them with so much love that people at the top change their hearts, change their minds. We're here to be more love. 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 And if you can't be more love, and if you're the ones texting me on Instagram saying, good, I hate these people, get rid of them, get out of our country. Friends, this is coming for your pocketbook too. Like, this impacts you. If that's the only way that you can see or feel love, I just want you to know this is coming after all of us. There isn't one ripple that goes out of hate in the world that doesn't impact all of our hearts. That's what the angels just said. There isn't one ripple of hate that goes out into the world that doesn't impact all of our hearts. Sandra, I know that you have a prayer that you wrote. I'm going to have you read that.
Can I make a comment before I start?
Yeah.
Something I would like to share is obviously I've been going through grieving right now, and I channeled Los Angeles, and an image that popped into my third eye was the Statue of Liberty and an equal sign, Los Angeles. What does the Statue of Liberty represent?
Freedom.
Exactly. And she's letting me know that that's what they're trying to take away from her. You are taking, or I'm sorry, not you directly, but her children are being taken away.
Yeah.
Why is it called Los Angeles? Los Angeles. The angels. You're taking her angels away. They contribute to this country as much as any other person, if not sometimes more.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
There's so many stipulations put against them that you're really purposely trying to make their lives difficult. And yet there's community. They try to help each other out just to live.
Yeah.
The trauma that's being created with kids and parents and uncles and aunts and all these important family units is creating unnecessary generational trauma.
Yeah.
I think that's why my nervous system's just so shot, because this is in my bones.
Yeah.
You know, this is generational trauma.
Yeah.
And I had a thought today, and I was just thinking about when I was a kid and going to the store and thinking I lost my mom and just panic. Now you have real kids that know the system doesn't like them. The system doesn't approve how they look. System doesn't approve our language, that they're evil. And how is that not going to affect our society? These are kids that we're supposed to be nurturing, and instead they're not the right color or the right class or speaking the right language or too different.
And we're taking them off the street, even if Just because they don't have papers, they can't show papers. We're sticking them in jails for 10,
Mm-hmm.
14 plus days in a room, small room with 30 other people where they have to
Yes.
poo and pee in this small area openly in front of one another and giving them a couple of crackers every day to eat. That is what is being reported by journalists.
Yeah. Kids and parents are separated. It's been going on.
Yeah.
This has been happening for a long time. It's just hasn't been shown. And right now, the ones on the ground are the ones that are posting these videos. That's why there's laws that are being passed right now that those that intervene or record are going to be arrested. They're trying to silence everyone right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny that they say that protesters can't wear masks, but you see every ICE agent with a mask.
Exactly. And then they're being very deceptive because automatically you see red and blue and you think it's cops, but it's not the cops.
Yeah.
It's ICE. Some of them even have like police written somewhere. Like you said, we need to send love. We need to be love and we need to demonstrate it. Mm-hmm. And I strongly feel that that is what they're trying to take away, is to break our spirit as a community, but also other communities. And Los Angeles, I know, is saying right now, all communities need to unite. All whatever.
This country needs to unite.
Exactly. Because that image that I saw of the Statue of Liberty, this is literally California. This is Los Angeles.
And that's exactly what we saw happen. That he didn't hand this over. And the Democrats are just as much to fault for what is happening in our country as anyone else. There is no one out there leading the force. There is no one out there leading us. And I have told you this before, and I've been saying this for months in this podcast because the angels are like, please drive this home for people. Please drive this home for people. We have 40, 50, 60-year-old people who are like, Julie, I don't have enough experience to go get involved. Then who the hell does? Because you have a 22-year-old who was a former gardener, who was a former person who worked maybe as a waiter or some other entry-level position, who is now one of the heads of defense, 22-year-old. That just graduated college last year. If you in your 40s, 50s, 60s, early 30s do not have enough experience, who does? The angels are asking you to step into power. And I'm talking to a lot of people who do feel called, based on everything that's going on, to run for office. If you are feeling called to run for office, if you believe in democracy, if you want to keep democracy alive, because big business doesn't. I'm going to tell you what to read. I'm going to tell you a book. I'm looking it up over on Amazon. There is a book that you need to read in order to understand where they are taking this. And this is what I'm going to do the longer episode on. But go read The Sovereign Individual. The Sovereign Individual by James Dale Davidson and Lord William Rees-Mogg, written in 1999. This book talks about technological companies taking over America, running America as a business. Businesses do not care about people. Businesses care about money. Love cares about people. Democracy cares about people. In some way, shape, or form, we are all going to be impacted. The Democrats are as much at fault for everything that's going on. And we have got to get our shit together in this country if we want to move forward and remain. This people will still be here. We will still be here in 200, 300 years as a people. But what China has shown the world is that they cannot have a large population and manage it as a democracy, that they need to manage it as a dictatorship. And if you want the US to be run by corporations, this book talks about breaking up the United States into territories, making a CEO of a corporation, the head of each territory, and running America as a business, then by all means, like, continue on if that's what you think is the best way for our nation. The other thing that they're saying is that they know what's coming with AI. They know that there are going to be a huge number of job loss, like huge. AI is going to take over so many jobs. So many people are going to be unemployed. And like we've talked about in the podcast, this is supposed to be meant by the divine as a gift for us to create a heaven-like utopia, right? Where people have time with a universal income, not communism. I am not a fan of communists. Do not call me a communist. I like capitalism. However, if you're going to have that many people unemployed, all of these companies are making so much money, and the money that they're going to make in the next 10 years is unreal. They have enough to provide a universal income where there is still capitalism, but all people are fed, all people are housed. I think if you read through the Bible wants that for people. The Bible wants us to have our basic necessities met. We proved communism didn't work. We're not talking about that. We're talking about an entirely new system. But what's happening is the heads of big business do not want a universal income. They do not want to have free healthcare. They do not want people's basic needs to be met. And so what they have said, and they're saying very, very clearly, if you're paying close attention and you're listening, you hear them saying, we know crime is coming. We know huge crime is coming from all of those who are going to be employed. Well, what are they going to do with the crime? They are creating online metaverses where, with your glasses, you're going to be able to click, be inside the metaverse, be poor as shit in the real world, but have your mansion in your online universe, have your servants in your online universe, have all this wealth in this online universe to completely distract you. That is where we are going. But we have prayers. You have a prayer. I've got a prayer. Let's pray.
Yeah. All right. So this prayer is for families and the land of Los Angeles. Divine Mother, loving Father, angels of justice, archangels of mercy, we come before you with hearts heavy and wide, crying out for the children, for the parents, for the families torn apart in the city and county of Los Angeles. Wrap your wings around them now. Hide them in the shelter of your love. Let no soul feel forgotten, no cry go unheard. We call upon Archangel Michael, protector of the innocent. Place your sword between the families and all harm. Guard their homes, their spirits, their bodies, and their names. We call upon Archangel Raphael, leader of wounds. Mend the broken hearts, soothe the aching bellies, heal the trauma etched into the bones of these children. We call upon the ancestors of the land, Tongva, Chumash, and beyond. Rise now with your wisdom and strength. Intercede on behalf of all who dwell upon your sacred earth. May your songs awaken justice in the hearts of those in power. To the land of Los Angeles, we speak blessings. May your soil remember the footsteps of those who walked in peace. May your skies be filled with prayers that move mountains. May your streets echo with voices rising in solidarity and love. Let every cage be opened. Let every heart in fear be comforted. Let justice roll like thunder and mercy pour like rain. We ask for protection, for reunification, for restoration. And we promise to keep walking, praying, and loving until every family is whole, until every border is made of light, not walls. Amen. Aho, and so it is.
I want to add to this prayer, and I want people to, if you can, close your eyes, take a deep breath in, deep breath out. And I want you to see the country of America as doing something huge over the last 250 years within the entire world, of showing that people are capable of being part of the government through a democracy. People are capable of having freedom, creativity, joy that comes from Archangel Gabriel to be able to do what their soul was called here to do. That in reality, America is the sacred space that is one of the first places that allowed the soul to truly be who and what it is supposed to be on this earth. And I want you to see the angels wrapping the Constitution of the United States. And if you've ever gone to visit the Constitution in in DC, you know that it's in a piece of glass that if anything were to ever happen, it drops like 300 feet down into the ground to safeguard and protect it. I want you to see God's energy of oneness in the vibration and the threads of that paper and that document. And I want you to see God, Universe, Source, using the Constitution as a vibration that radiates out to the hearts of every leader in DC, every American within the world, in the United States. The vibrations of freedom, of love, of the ability to follow our soul's path. The American dream is really being able to follow your soul's path without being hindered by your government. I want you to see the angels surrounding all of DC, all of the leaders out there. I want you to see those angels stopping the inward fighting amongst people who are really on the same side, not just in DC, but throughout the entire country. See the angels bringing people together. And I want you to see it as if there's just this spark of energetic, divine oneness opening, this droplet within their hearts, opening and widening and expanding, this beautiful energy of love like the sun, where it starts as a droplet in their heart and it becomes larger and larger and larger and larger until it's filling their entire being. I had a woman this weekend at the Angel Reiki School tell me, Julie, I am a different person today than I was 6 months ago. I have completely changed in every way, shape, and form. And I believe that the angels are showing that this is possible for every single human being. And I really truly believe that this is possible, that agreements that have been made in the past can be undone, and that we can spread the ultimate love within this nation, to not allow ourselves to become a nation ruled with fear, keeping people under the rule of the thumb, like China, like Russia, like the Middle East, where women cannot even show their hair or speak out without worrying about being jailed, like places within the world where women can be murdered by their husband and there is no repercussion for that whatsoever. I want you to see within the hearts of every single human being here in America that love is dominating. love is coming back in. And I want you to see everything shifting. I want you to see love taking over Los Angeles, love taking over DC, love taking over in the White House. True love. I want you to see God's hand working in everyone's heart and everyone listening to their intuition, that love within, instead of listening to their ego. I want you to visualize people going online and realizing that the algorithms want them to comment hate, but that they choose love. They choose not to comment, or they choose to just send love into the conversation. I want you to see families staying together, children feeling safe and secure, mothers not worrying about their children, but wanting their children to just run outside and play because they're safe and secure. I want you to see empathy, kindness, and compassion radiating in all of our hearts, surrounding our country. And I want you to see that vision of all Americans coming together very united, because we're not going to become like any other force in the world as they want us to. We are going to unite together. We are going to stand together in the name of love, in the name of democracy, in the name of the American dream. I believe in it. I know that it's possible. I know that huge change is possible. The way is not set in stone. The way can be changed, which is the only reason I am out here speaking. The angels say, if we are not willing to get up and speak, if we are not willing to be love in this world and preach love in this world, as the Bible did, as Jesus did, then who else is going to do it for us? So I'm going to end with this. I want you to see yourself and the angels surrounding you. And I want you to see the angels blessing you, surrounding you. They've got their shields, they've got their swords, they're ready to guard and protect you. They are ready to show you the way forward, to do the work that you are here to do within this world. And I want you to see yourself having the confidence and love within you to have the hard conversations, to do the hard work, to bring this place back to a place of love. Your angels have got your back. The angels have got the back of this country, but it takes all hands on deck. And I want you to feel just love for a moment. Let's end on a note of love. Feel love surrounding you. Feel love filling you. Feel love empowering you. And with this, we end today's episode. If you made it this far and you didn't tune out, thank you. You probably know that there are people who aren't going to follow me anymore. You know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. You know that I'm going to lose a lot of followers. And if you could support my work through this, I really appreciate it, because this is what I do for a living. Thank you so much. I love you so much, friends. Bye.